Let me ask you, how much does INEC prioritize R&D, research and development? Because if when you're trying to bring the cost down and you're importing all of these materials, how can we begin to invest in R&D so that we're producing things like card readers, the technology we're using, employing our people, et cetera, et cetera? Is that not something that can be feasible within INEC?
Yes, there's an arm of the Commission, the Electoral Institute, which is an arm of the Commission, which does things in terms of research. But it's more to processes. We are not, our mandate does not extend to research on card readers, on technology, for example. Deployment of technology, yes. Studies, yes. But the Electoral Institute does a lot more in terms of cost of elections. So we commission people, and we're working, the chairman of the commission is the president of ECONEC. ECONEC is the committee of electoral management bodies in West Africa. We just held a major conference, and part of the presentation there is how do we bring down the cost of elections? How do we make our electoral process more efficient? If, for example, we don't have to buy card readers, or we don't have to buy laptops or data capture, maybe if we could lease, that will help a great deal in that regards. Where do we get these things from? So these studies are ongoing. There's a bit of research in that regards, how to better make the things more efficient. But we must take care of certain basics first. We must print our ballot papers such that they are currency printed quality and feature such security measures into it. We must protect them. We must take them to the vault of the central bank. In other places, there are some countries that use standard A4 papers printed by the political parties. We cannot try that here.
Did you get, by any chance, did you have any insight into the security component of the budget in terms of the overheads, I mean, the headings on what that money would be spent on?
No, it was not run by us, but to the best of my knowledge. But I presume it's welfare and logistics. I'll presume so. That's a presumption.
Well, people are definitely asking for, to see the details of INEC's budget. Will it be made transparent?
Oh, certainly. We will do budget defense. It's an open process. And when the budget is out, it will be by way of an act, Appropriation Act. So it will be an amendment of the Appropriation Act of 2018, or it will be part of the supplementary budget, which will be public. We will make it public, and I'm sure the National Assembly and President will make it public, certainly.
Let me make a quick detour now, because you talked about card readers enhancement, which was a source of controversy in the Ekiti elections. Some parties were saying, look, first and foremost, I think the initial allegation was that you were able to impute figures. The INEC chairman came out to dispute that, to set people's minds at rest. Yes. But then you talked about enhancement, and for a number of them, they wondered why you were not enhancing all the card readers you were deploying and only enhancing a certain amount. Is there a reason why you did that?
No, we enhanced all the card readers for the Ekiti election, as well as for the Osun election. You cannot do enhancements in one fell swoop. It's staggered. So we've done for the two off-cycle elections remaining, the Ekiti and now the Osun one. But we've gone on to do it nationwide.
We'll come back and wrap up this conversation. Please stay with us. Well, Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uze is still with us in the studio. He's the Director of Publicity and Voter Education at INEC. Ajuri, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Maupe. Mr. Uze, we know that you've just mentioned now that, of course, INEC is not really heavily involved in R&D per se. But we also know that the National Agency for Space and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, is. Do you think that we have reached a point where we can invest heavily in the kinds of institutions that we already have to engineer, to manufacture solutions for our own peculiar challenges that we face, whether it's elections, whether it's power infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, certainly, but that's a larger societal question, and I agree with you. We have reached that stage where we must look for local solutions to our particular problems, and a lot more in terms of that. And by the way, we do invest in research, but we're more concerned with research relative to our work. We cannot go into space research, and we are collaborating with some of these agencies. And NASENI is one, and the space research is another, NIGECOMSAT is another, the NCC. We are collaborating with these people to see the synergy. We cannot sponsor research studies into technological devices. But yes, we can collaborate with those who have the mandate to do that. And we've met with the organized private sector and say you can be more involved in the process in different ways. And so let us partner together. So yes, indeed.
Some people believe that voter education is one of the ways that we can overcome vote buying. Yes. One of our guests here said that we have to place a premium. The voter must place a premium on the value that he or she attaches to her vote, indeed, or his or her vote. What are you going to do about that since you're in charge of voter education?
Well, since this trend started, people said in Edo. I think it's always been there. But we have now not changed our focus, refocused, recalibrated our messaging. And part of the messaging deals with the evils of vote buying. We've computed it. If somebody gives you 5,000, 10,000, how far will it take you? And where does the accountability come in? If somebody feels he has bought your votes, he doesn't owe you much because he has paid for it. So we try to enlighten
is that message
people.
being transmitted?
Well, we are doing our own bits and collaborating with partners and stakeholders in that regard. Civil society has been very, very cooperative, and media in Ekiti was quite helpful in that regard in many ways. And in our interactions with the people, we made the point. But it's difficult to enlighten somebody about a thing like that in the midst of poverty in the land. It's quite difficult. But we try to tell them that this is a long-term effect. You're sacrificing your long-term benefits for short-term gain. And short-term gains, for example, tell them, look, 5,000, 10,000 will not barely cook you a pot of soup. How long will that last you?
Let me quickly take you to questions that were being asked here on Twitter. Two of our viewers are at least saying that why has INEC removed the results of the votes cast in the Ekiti election so quickly? At least I'm seeing 2 or 3 of that particular tweet here.
It's ignorance. Please go to the website. It is there.
I am on your website. I don't even know where to look.
It's on our Twitter handle as well.
Okay.
It's on a Twitter handle. It's on the website. It's everywhere. I am on the website now.
So where do you go to on the website?
INEC News. Just go to the homepage, the INEC News, right on there.
Okay, so for our viewers who are watching and wondering where you can find votes cast and things of the sort as concerns Ekiti elections, go to INEC News on inecnigeria.org.
Go to Twitter, Facebook, we're all there, and the results are all there.
Oh, we have to thank you most kindly. We'll definitely be bringing you again and again, especially as we approach the 2019 elections. We can see you're already doing a countdown on your website. But we have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Elite this morning. Mr. Oluwale Osaze Uzi is the Director of Publicity and Voter Education at INEC. Well, that's the show today. Thank you so much for always being wonderful company and for sending your comments and questions. I'm Maokbe Ogun Yusuf.
Have a great day, everybody. I'm Ajuri Ngilale.
And goodbye from Lagos.